Welcome to my channel Alien Signal. In the outer spiral of the Andarian Dominion, humanity was known as a minor species. Barely expanded beyond its home system. Weak in strength compared to the granite-skinned Vorthax. Short-lived compared to the near-immortal Elisar. Technologically behind the biomechanical Cyrith. Humans were tolerated, allowed trade rights, protected territories, and a fragile seat in the Galactic Accord. But tolerance is not respect. And respect is earned in blood. The summons. The transmission arrived without warning. It pierced Earth's defense grid, bypassed encryption layers, and opened across global networks as a unified holographic projection. Governments scrambled. Military systems locked onto the signal source, an orbiting war vessel larger than a mountain. Inside every major city, the same image appeared. A towering alien standing in a ceremonial arena carved from obsidian stone. His body was armored with natural plating. His eyes glowed orange beneath ridged bone. Behind him stood dozens of warriors from different species, observers. The alien spoke in a voice that vibrated through speakers and shattered windows. Humans of Earth, your species has requested full military integration into the Accord Defense League. Pause. You claim strength. You claim innovation. You claim adaptability. A slow, mocking gesture. We test these claims. The projection shifted. A massive chamber was revealed, an interstellar arena built to host combat between champions of species. Send your strongest warrior. If she survives against our champion, humanity earns recognition as equals. The transmission ended. Global panic followed. Choosing the champion, world leaders debated for hours. Military generals offered armored battalions. Special forces units volunteered. Augmented soldiers demanded selection. But the alien message had specified one thing clearly. Single combat. No weapons of mass destruction. No drone support. No orbital interference. One human. One champion. The selection eventually narrowed, not to the strongest soldier, but to the one who had already survived war. Captain Mira Solano. She had fought insurgents in orbital skirmishes during the Mars reclamation conflict. She had survived a ship crash that killed 37 crew members. She had undergone neural augmentation to compensate for injuries sustained in battle. More importantly, she had refused political protection and stayed in active duty. When the commanders approached her, she listened quietly. Then she asked one question. What happens if I lose? The general did not lie. They will broadcast your defeat as proof that humanity belongs under supervision. She nodded. And if I win, then everything changes. She smiled faintly. Send me. The arena beyond Earth. The transport ship took her through a gravitational slipstream. She stood alone inside a containment pod as Earth shrank into a blue speck. Through reinforced glass, she saw fleets of alien warships forming a ring around a colossal structure, the arena. It floated in deep space. A ring-shaped platform forged from compressed asteroid metal and alien alloys. Energy shields shimmered around its perimeter to prevent escape. Her pod docked. When the doors opened, artificial gravity engaged. She stepped onto black stone. And silence greeted her. The stadium was packed with representatives from dozens of species. Some had bodies like serpents. Others resembled walking crystalline structures. Some hovered without visible limbs. They all stared at her. Small, fragile, human. On the opposite side of the arena, the gates opened. Heavy, slow, the ground trembled. The champion of the Dominion. It emerged. The Vorthax. Champion. 3 meters tall. Musculature layered like armored cables. Bone protrusions extended from his forearms like natural blades. His skin was thick, adaptive, capable of hardening upon impact. Energy conduits pulsed beneath translucent layers of tissue. He stepped forward and roared. The sound was not merely vocal. It was a shockwave designed to intimidate prey. The alien announcer projected its voice across the arena. Champion Krathor of the Vorthax Dominion, undefeated in 47 sanctioned duels. The crowd reacted with approval. Krathor raised his massive arms. He looked at Mira, and laughed. "You are the test," he rumbled in Galactic Standard. Mira activated her suit. Her combat armor unfolded across her body, lightweight composite plating reinforced with reactive nanofibers. Not heavy, not brute strength, precision, mobility, adaptation. She activated her neural link. Her perception slowed, heart rate stabilized, breathing regulated. She replied calmly, "I'm the correction." The arena sealed, energy barriers flared to life. The duel began. First contact. Krathor charged. The ground shattered under his mass. He closed distance in seconds, faster than something that size had any right to move. Mira did not brace. She moved. At the last possible moment, she rolled beneath his sweeping claw strike. His talons sliced through reinforced stone as if it were clay. She fired 2 plasma bursts from her wrist emitters. The projectiles struck his torso. They detonated. Smoke erupted. The crowd reacted, surprised. Krathor staggered back, but when the smoke cleared, his skin had hardened, the burns sealed. He laughed again. Insufficient. Mira assessed instantly. His defense system adapted to thermal damage. She shifted tactics. She didn't aim to overpower him. She aimed to outthink him. The brutality of adaptation. Krathor attacked again, this time with calculated strikes. He predicted her movement. His claws grazed her shoulder plating, tearing through outer armor. Warning indicators flashed across her visor. Structural integrity compromised. Pain sensors activated. She ignored it. Instead, she allowed him to overextend. When he lunged with both arms forward, she grabbed one of his extended limbs. He expected her to fail. His strength exceeded hers by a factor of 10. He attempted to throw her aside. But at that moment, she triggered the hidden mechanism integrated into her suit. Magnetic anchor spikes launched from her boots and embedded into the arena floor. She locked herself in place. Krathor pulled. She pulled back. For a brief second, muscle versus machine. Then she shifted her weight and used his momentum. She twisted, and drove her elbow into the joint where bone met armor plating. A precision strike, not brute force. Targeted disruption. A crack echoed. Krathor roared, not from pain alone, but from shock. His joint destabilized. She followed instantly. She drove a reinforced blade hidden along her forearm into the damaged articulation. It pierced. Energy discharge burst outward. Krathor staggered for real this time. The audience went silent. Realization. For the first time in the duel, the alien spectators saw something unexpected. The human was not stronger. She was not larger. She was not biologically superior. But she understood vulnerability. She attacked structure. She attacked weakness. Krathor ripped the blade from his joint and threw it aside. His regenerative biology began repairing damage. He activated full combat protocol. His body expanded. Spines erupted from his back. His muscles swelled with stored metabolic energy. He charged again, faster. Mira knew the shift meant one thing. He was ending restraint. She did not retreat. Instead, she ran toward him. The turning point. They collided. The impact created a shockwave that fractured the arena floor. Krathor wrapped his massive hands around her torso. He intended to crush her. Armor plating groaned under pressure. Internal systems screamed overload warnings. He lifted her off the ground. His grip tightened. He leaned in close. "You are resilient," he admitted. "But resilience fails." She looked directly into his glowing eyes. "Not today." She triggered the final override. Her suit's reactor core, previously operating at safe limits, unlocked emergency output. Energy surged through her systems. Not to increase strength, but to power something else. A capacitor chamber embedded in her spine ignited. It channeled stored kinetic energy from the fight. From his attacks. From every impact. She had been collecting it. Krathor felt the shift too late. Her arms moved. She freed one hand, and drove it directly into the exposed fracture in his chest armor, the point she had damaged earlier. She inserted the energy conduit. Then she discharged everything. A focused electromagnetic surge erupted from her suit into his nervous system. It overloaded biological synapses, disrupted motor control, short-circuited regeneration. Krathor screamed. His body locked. Muscles convulsed uncontrollably. Mira tore herself free from his weakening grip. She landed behind him, and before he could recover, she grabbed the protruding spinal ridge at his back, braced, and pulled, with both strength and momentum. She exploited the earlier damage. She leveraged the structural weakness. And she tore. Bone separated, tissue ripped, armor cracked apart. Krathor's massive form collapsed forward as part of his spine detached from his body. The arena shook. Silence followed. Then, his body lay broken on the stone. Motionless. Aftermath. For several seconds, no one moved. Alien spectators processed the impossibility. Their champion, defeated, by a species they had categorized as fragile. The announcer's voice trembled. Victor, Captain Mira Solano, representing humanity. The barrier shields lowered. Mira stood amid the wreckage. Blood dripped from her armor. Breathing heavy, injured, but alive, she looked up at the observers. And spoke clearly so every translator system projected her words. You judged humanity by size. You measured us by strength. We measure by survival. She stepped closer to the fallen champion. Next time, she said quietly, send more. The change. News of the duel spread across the galaxy within hours. Species that once dismissed humanity revised threat assessments. Trade negotiations shifted overnight. Military analysts categorized humans as adaptive combat specialists with high asymmetrical capability. More importantly, the Galactic Accord extended formal recognition to Earth as a sovereign equal. Not because humans were strongest, but because they had proven something terrifying. They could study an opponent, exploit weakness, and turn disadvantage into victory. Back on Earth, crowds celebrated. Mira declined medals. She returned to duty. When reporters asked how she felt about defeating a champion considered unstoppable, she answered simply, he underestimated me. A pause. He underestimated us. And somewhere in the depths of space, other warriors began training, not to conquer humanity, but to survive the next human who stepped into an arena. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.